Howdy folks, PC Cowboy coming at you again. You know, sometimes I've been dealing with topics that are easy to deal with in one quick, easy lesson. Today's message isn't that way. No. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's going to take probably 2, maybe 3, and possibly 4 messages, depending on how it goes. What am I going to be talking about, you ask? Friendship. As any cowboy knows, friendship, well, there's just nothing more important than friendship. Why, there was even a fella back in the 1st century BC, a fella by the name of, oh goodness, what was his? Cicero. He was one of them Roman philosophers. Now, not a lot of people know this, but cowboys are philosophers too. But anyway, he said that friendship is the only thing in the world that concerning the usefulness of, all people will agree. But, well, now there's a lot of different kinds of friendships, and there's a lot of different attributes that go into friendship. And today I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about friendship, and about, well, somewhere during this session I'm going to talk about false friendships. I'm sure we all know those. Judas Iscariot, he was a false friend to Jesus. Benedict Arnold, he was a false friend to the United States. Julius Caesar had a false friend too, a fellow by the name of Mark Antony. Well, now, there's some real good things that could be said about friendship, and there's not so good things. But that Cicero fellow, I think he'd have made a pretty good cowboy. I think he had kind of an understanding that would have helped him. But I reckon there's a bunch of good things and good reasons for the scarcity of friendship. See, friendship, okay, now when I say friendship, I ain't talking about how many friends you've got on Facebook. Let me ask you this. Would them Facebook folks come to your aid if you was in need? Yeah, maybe 1 out of 1,000. So if you got 1,000 Facebook friends, you might have one that'd come to your aid if you need them. The rest, well, not so much. Now, one thing that kind of hampers friendship is our modern society. You ever notice how 100 years ago, 90% of the people lived their entire life and died within 100 miles of where they were born? Nowadays, well, like you take me for example. I'm from Texas, but I'm in North Carolina now. That's a little more than 100 miles away. And, well, I'll probably wind up dying and being buried here in North Carolina. That's not too surprising, though, in today's world. We very rarely stay in one place. And when you don't stay in one place, it's real hard to maintain friendships. Why is that? Well, part of the reason is that true friendship requires closeness, proximity-wise. A holler distance friend is a real friend. Now, some of y'all have seen my videos where you see the front part of the trailer I live in. If you were to see over my shoulder, which I can't seem to get the camera over that way easily, but you would see another trailer. That trailer's lived in by my son, my youngest son, and his wife. Um, so anytime we need to get in touch with him, we just stick our head out the door and holler. And anytime he needs us, he sticks his head out the door and hollers. There's what you call a hollering distance friendship. Of course, it's a little more than friendship since he's my son. Now, I'm also going to talk in this series about false friends. Like I said, I named off a couple of famous examples. But hopefully none of y'all are false friends, but I'll bet you $1 every one of you's got at least one false friend. And sometimes I've known people whose false friends were those of their own household. In the book of Proverbs, there's lots of things about friendship. And it talks a lot about how to be a friend and gives the attributes of a friend. Over the next few messages, I'm going to talk about some of those attributes. But, for right now, I'm going to just tell you that one of the strongest attributes of a friend is found in Jesus Christ. Proverbs says there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Well, I tell you, folks, some of y'all may not know this, but I was pretty much raised as an only child. Because even though I had a younger brother, he was killed in an accident when he was 4 and I was 6. So, I miss Danny quite a bit. It's hard for me to talk about him, so generally I don't. Except to people I consider real friends. The fact that I've let y'all in on that much lets you know a little bit about where you stand with me. If you're watching this video, then I consider you someone that I'm willing to share my life with. And hope that y'all feel the same about me. If you got something you want to share, share it. I may not be able to help you out financially or physically, but I can always take it to the Lord in prayer. He's that friend that sticks closer than a brother. And I guarantee you he's got the resources to take care of any need you have. One thing that you need to know, though, even though I said earlier that close proximity is important to a friendship, and yes it is, with Jesus, he's as close as your prayers. You hit your knees, and he's right there. And, some of you may not be able to get on your knees, and that's okay. You can sit in your favorite chair, and he's right there. You can stand up while you're doing the dishes and offer a prayer, and he's right there. In other words, no matter where you go, no matter where you're at, Jesus is there. Some people think of Jesus as being off somewhere hard to reach, but anywhere you go, Jesus is there. In fact, he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's a promise, folks, you can take to the bank. Now, I've had friends in my life who were there for me sometime, and, frankly, sometimes they weren't. And I've had folks that even though, we've gotten apart in distance, there's some of them that I know to this day I could call on, and they'd be there. And then, there are some that have kind of dropped off by the wayside. and others have come in to take their place. And I reckon that's about normal because, like I said, when you move away from people, it's easy to lose touch. But there are always going to be that core group. And now, some of you may notice that I use that term friend very carefully. Why? Because I got a lot of acquaintances, but I got very few friends. Part of that, I think, goes back to the time between December '94 and May of '95. There were 4 men that were, the 5 of us were best friends. And during that 6-month period, 4 of them died. I didn't. Because apparently God wasn't through with me yet. But those 4 men that died, one of them died on the 4th of December, one on the 8th of January '95, one on the 18th of February '95, and one on the 25th of May '95. Well, those 4 men were men that I consider very close friends. And speaking of friends, I recently learned that a man that I looked up to highly passed away in January of this year. And I didn't find out until just recently when I looked him up online. A gentleman by the name of Wilbur Plower. And Wilbur was a PRCA bullfighter. Some people call them rodeo clowns. He was one of the best. Wilbur had been in the Air Force, but at one point they took an x-ray, and on the x-ray they showed something real interesting. Wilbur had what's called a hangman's fracture of the neck. Doctor told him that they were going to give him a medical discharge from the military because if he even sneezed wrong, it could completely break his neck. So what did Wilbur do when he got out of the Air Force? He went back to doing what he did before he went in, bull rider and rodeo bullfighter. And you know what? He lived long enough to retire from that. And went on ranching for many years after he retired from rodeoing. He was also one of the founders of the Cowboy chapter Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which later broke away from the FCA and simply became Fellowship of Christian Cowboys. I was one of the members. I wasn't one of the founding members, but I was one of the members right there about the start of it. And it's started back in the 70s. Well, now, for those of y'all that don't know, cowboys are very careful about using that word friend, because that implies a lot of commitment. Jesus said, "No greater love hath any man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." Well, if I call you a friend, I don't mean Facebook friend, but if I call you a friend for real, that's the kind of friend I am. I'll lay down my life for you if need be. And if you're that kind of person too, then you're probably like me. You don't have a whole lot of friends. You got a lot of acquaintances, but not a lot of friends. There was a song by Michael W. Smith, "Friends are Friends Forever." Well, part of that song says, well, a friend's a friend forever if the Lord's the Lord of them. And a friend will not say never, 'cause friendship never ends. I don't remember the rest of it. But, in fact, I hadn't even planned I hadn't planned on singing that because I know my voice ain't what it used to be before the stroke. So, but I'm not going to erase that because I feel like God wanted me to put that in there for somebody. True friendship is something rare and something valuable. I want y'all to know that if you got a true friend, they're a lot more valuable than gold or silver. Hang on to them true friends. I was planning on having a little more details on what it takes to be a friend in this message. But I can see that I've pretty much spent a quarter of an hour on the message. A little over a quarter hour. And I reckon that's long enough for y'all to have to put up with listening to me. Part 2 of the message will be tomorrow after church. And like I said, it may take 3, it may take 4 messages. Because this is a subject that means a lot to me. And I've got a lot to say on. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you got any questions, feel free to comment that. And if you don't want to leave it where people can see it, by golly, jump over to your email, little t, period, little k, period, Paris, Paris, 61 at gmail.com. And that'll get to me. And if you respond by email but don't mind me answering you in the message, just put that it's okay to answer in the message. If you don't want your name mentioned, just put down at the bottom, withhold name. Because I'm a true friend. If you don't want your name told, I ain't gonna tell. Until next time, which will be probably about 24 hours from now. May God take care of you until we meet again. Happy trails, y'all. Yeah!